Well, hey there. I figured I'd take a break from my existential despair after scrolling Twitter for too long, which tends to happen, to talk to you about optics. Now, we all know about the Ohio disaster with the train derailment and Norfolk Southern. If you don't know about it, I mean, I guess you're living under a rock at this point, or you're the media and you're just slow to pick up on it. But long story short, an entire town was poisoned. Surrounding areas, miles and miles surrounding the town, which is right on the Ohio River, have all been affected by toxic gas and chemicals that were literally lit on fire to clear the railway faster, so that way they can get their trains rolling. Not taking into account the safety or well-being of the surrounding area and its citizens. No, just to save a buck, and that's really all this came down to. Norfolk Southern regularly bought back their own stocks, and underpaid workers didn't give them benefits. It makes me really wish that rail workers did a wildcat strike over the holidays because they've been neglected for too long. They weren't given the sick days that they requested, just some crumbs, a small handful. No one has been on their side except for progressives. It goes without saying that, we should side with the working class, right? What's going on there is obviously completely atrocious. The waterways are very likely all contaminated. The people in these towns nearby are going to be experiencing health issues for years to come that won't show up right away, kind of like how it seems to happen with other ecological and environmental disasters. But what I wanted to focus on in this video was a couple of pretty sizable accounts that really just had an awful take about this. Now granted, if you don't know, Norfolk Southern and other rail companies regularly lobby Congress to ease safety standards so that way they're more productive. They have trains running 24/7. They want to make everything as efficient as possible for the least amount of cost. Going every which way they can to cut corners. Going so far as to even lobby to have trains manned by only one person instead of two, which is still too few if you ask me. And since the brakes on these trains are Civil War era brakes, we're literally talking about brakes that were made in the late 1800s. But capitalism requires growth, endless growth. Replacing brakes on millions of train cars, that's going to cost a lot of money. So updating the brakes would have pretty much certainly avoided this disaster. But Trump vetoed a bill that would have required these brakes to be installed. I'm not going to go into the details. I'm not completely certain on it, but that's basically the gist of it. So yeah, obviously Trump bad, Republicans bad, deregulation bad. That's pretty obvious. But these two accounts that I'm talking about, one of them is an account called Really American. They put a lot of really good memes. They're very progressive. You see on Twitter here they have 587,000 followers. Not nearly as much on their Instagram, maybe about 30K. And this other account, the U.S. Democratic Socialists, I believe this is the official page for U.S. Democratic Socialists, sitting at about 83K. This account was reposting posts that were made by Really American, and these were two of them that really caught my attention. First of which, you got the Kermit drinking tea meme. Ohio voted for Trump. Trump removed safety regulations on trains. Sounds like Ohio got exactly what it voted for, but that's none of my business. So, according to Really American, who I think makes all the memes that it posts, which is pretty frequent, because this isn't the only meme like this. We're going to get to another one here in a second. But just the hideous dismissiveness of this is what really leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Do we as progressives and leftists not care about the plight of the working class? Not only that, putting aside that Trump voters, Republican voters, are generally working class, not everyone in Ohio and in the surrounding areas like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, not all of them voted for Trump either. So just, do they deserve it? I don't understand. If you actually understand the details of the effects of these chemicals that were released into the atmosphere and that were put into that were basically dumped into the soil and got into the surrounding waterways, you really wouldn't wish this upon anyone living in that area, because it's not their fault. It's not even really Trump's fault. Yeah, he had a hand in like deregulate, like vetoing the safety regulations, but Norfolk Southern has been lobbying for this for years, decades. Trump came along in 2016. This lobbying, this paying off of Congress and the government in general, it's been going on for decades. Instead of using their profits to update equipment, they bought back their own stocks, cut corners, lobbied Congress, refused to give better benefits and pay to employees until they were forced, just to save money. So I get the blame for Trump, but to blame the voter base for this catastrophe is disgusting. And this page has a whole lot of reach. Now, granted, I didn't see this meme on Twitter, but I did see it on Instagram, and it was reposted by U.S. Democratic Socialists, who have a bigger reach on Instagram than them. Before I get to my other points, we're going to look at this next meme. East Palestine, Ohio residents who vote Republican. Me, tired of their bullshit. Thoughts and prayers, motherfuckers. And then the Republicans, I guess, are drowning, saying, Hunter Biden's laptop. Yeah, just a really stupid meme. Like brain dead, head empty stuff. So the left already has a very bad optics problem. There's a lot of infighting. If you've probably seen my video already talking about liberals being the only hope for leftists, which isn't. I mean, it may be true, it may not be, but that wasn't exactly the full point of the video. What I care about as a progressive, as a leftist, as a socialist, is gaining allies. Gaining people for the cause of leftist ideals and making a better world possible. Improving the lives of as many people as possible, even if they don't vote the same way that I do. I still want Republicans to have free healthcare. I still want Trump voters to have access to prescription drugs and pharmaceuticals for a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the cost right now, or for free. I want to make it absolutely clear. These memes right here are in absolutely no way to reach out to disaffected liberals, to right-wingers, to potential leftist allies. How are we supposed to make any of these conservatives or people who might not vote Democrat to be sympathetic to progressive values when not even many Democrats are, especially establishment Democrats? If I saw these memes and I was like a centrist, I'd be like completely turned off. Like, oh, because they voted a certain way, they deserve to be nuked? They deserve to be poisoned? And not even all of them voted that way anyway. This is disgusting. Even if this happened in a blue state, Norfolk Southern and their lobbyists would still be to blame. I'm sorry, we can't act like conservatives do. Like, sure, it's really easy to, nitpick at every single thing they do because they vote the wrong way. But this is exactly what Republican propagandists do as well. Oh, there's high crime in your city? That's what you get for voting blue. Oh, you're the victim of a crime? There's no work because the immigrants just took all the jobs? That's what you get for voting blue. It doesn't matter if there's no truth to any of that. That's exactly what they do. And you're basically using their playbook here with these memes. And honestly, it's trash. It's completely shameful. This rhetoric is not okay. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had to say. I obviously care about these things, and I care about making more people sympathetic to progressive causes and whatnot. And this just this ain't it. More stuff on the way. I think I'll react some more to Dieter McBusiness's stuff. Go subscribe to American Wasp if you haven't already. Eventually, I'll get around to that Candace Owens and masculinity and insecure men, whatever type video that I've been mentioning here and there. When I have time. I'm just really busy and all that. Regardless, if you like this, please leave a like, comment, let me know what you think down below. Follow me on Twitter, subscribe if you haven't. I don't know if I said that already. Here's the end of the video. You all have a good day/night.
This train derailment. No, what it is a simple failure of government to exert its authority over corporations and the protection of corporate profits over the safety of American citizens. Period. End of story.